बुलेट मेरी जान मंजिलों का निशान, ये बुलेट मेरी जान मंजिलों का निशान, ये बुलेट ये बुलेट ये बुलेट ये बुलेट
एनफील्ड बुलेट, गजब की सवारी।
बुलेट ये बुलेट।
In the last video, we saw the growth of Royal Enfield from a bicycle parts manufacturer in the UK to a premium global motorcycle company, and its fall when Japanese motorcycle companies entered the market, which led to the closing of the company in 1977. Hi, I'm Jayesh, and you're watching Hustlers TV. In this video, we will see how the company's legacy is carried by the Enfield India, which stayed alive even when the main company collapsed. The year is 1949. India got independence from the British, and the new government was looking for a suitable motorcycle for its army to patrol the country's border. In 1952, the government of India chose Royal Enfield as the most suitable bike for this job. K.R. Sundaram Iyer of Madras Motors won a contract from the government of India to import British motorcycles into India. A total of 500 350cc bullets arrived from Redditch in early 1953 and proved to be great success, being both hardy and easy to maintain. In 1955, the Redditch company partnered with the Madras Motors in India to form Enfield India. The work commences on the construction of a proposed build factory at Tiruvottur near Madras. The next year in 1956, the Tiruvottur factory opens and bullets begin to be manufactured under license. Initially, parts were shipped from England in a kit and then assembled in the Madras plant. A total of 163 Enfield India bullets are built by the company at the end of the year. By 1962, all the components to make the bike were made in India. After the Redditch facility got closed, Enfield India was the face of the company. By 1977, Enfield India began exporting the 350cc bullet to the UK and Europe market. Sales grew rapidly as the bike developed a following among classic motorcycle enthusiasts. However, the growth was short-lived. In the 1970s and 80s, the Japanese tsunami that crashed the European and American market, which took the Royal Enfield UK company out of business, was heading straight to India. Local Indian manufacturers couldn't match the price and quality offered by Japanese and either went bankrupt or sold their company to them. Enfield India was struggling to stay afloat and was barely managing their business. In 1994, commercial vehicle and tractor manufacturer the Eicher Group acquired Enfield India Limited. They renamed the company to Royal Enfield Motors Limited. The founder Vikram Lal was a motorcyclist himself and had owned a bullet. His passion for riding was passed down to his son, who would eventually rebuild the Royal Enfield brand. In 1993, Enfield India produced the world's first and only mass-manufactured diesel motorcycle known as Enfield Diesel or Taurus. After purchasing the company, Eicher India started developing a motorcycling culture in India. In 1997, 40 Royal Enfield motorcycles climbed to Khardungla, the world's highest motorable pass, and created a blueprint for the annual Himalayan Odyssey ride. In 1999, utilizing the design skills of Austrian company AVL, Royal Enfield launched a revised 350cc all-aluminium lean bullet known as A350. In 2001, the Daredevils, the motorcycle display team of Indian Army, forms a human pyramid of 201 men on 10 350cc bullets. They ride a distance of more than 200 meters, setting up a new world record. In 2002, the Royal Enfield Thunderbird was launched. It featured the first 5-speed gearbox used on a Royal Enfield since the 1960s. Despite the new launches, the company was struggling to increase sales and the quality of the motorcycle was not a match with the price they were asking for. All of this began to change after 2004. The year was 2004 and Siddharth Lal, 30 at that time, took over as the COO of Eicher Group. The group had a diverse spread of about 15 businesses including tractor, trucks, motorcycle, footwear and garments, but none was a market leader. Lal decided to divest 13 businesses and put all the money and focus behind Royal Enfield and Trucks, two businesses which he believed the group had a genuine shot at leadership. Later, when asked about this in an interview, Lal said, "In my mind, the basic question was this: do we want to be a mediocre player in 15 small businesses or just be good in 1 or 2 businesses?" In 2005, the company was selling only about 25,000 bikes every year. The business could be very profitable, but they had to sell more bikes, and to do that, they had to offer competitive pricing. Lal engineered and improved Enfield bikes by riding hundreds of kilometers himself. He also initiated a motorcycle culture in India. Under Lal's leadership, the quality of the bikes improved and the company launched several bikes. In the year 2004, the Electra X, an export bullet with 500cc version of an all-alloy lean burn engine, goes on sale. In 2008, the Thunderbird Twin Spark is launched in India with the new unit construction engine. The same year, Royal Enfield began exporting the Classic, India's first 500cc EFI Euro 3 compliant motorcycle, to European markets. By 2010, the company was selling 50,000 bikes annually, almost twice of what they were selling 5 years back. Growth was good but not exceptional. This is when Royal Enfield decided to make bikes on one platform instead of 3 platforms. This way, they can maximize economies of scale and provide a better product for less price to the customer. The Enfield India launched from this single platform, caught the fancy of customers, and sales shot up. In just half a decade, sales increased over 6 times, from 50,000 units in the year 2010 to 589,000 units in 2014. The other reason for this huge demand was the motorcycling culture they introduced and nurtured. It was just like what the Harley-Davidson did in the US. In 2011, Royal Enfield riders around the world were encouraged to go for a ride on the inaugural One Ride event. It became an annual event taking place on the first Sunday in April. The same year, to match their increasing demand, the company acquired 50 acres of land at Oragadam for its new plant. In 2012, Royal Enfield launched its first highway cruiser, the all-black Thunderbird 500. Parallelly, work on the Oragadam factory continued, while the Tiruvottur plant set a new production record to meet 113,000 motorcycle sales. In 2013, 48 years after developing its first production cafe racer, Royal Enfield rolled out the all-new Continental GT. Featuring a cradle frame designed by Harris Performance and a 535cc UCE engine, this new cafe racer becomes the starting point of numerous custom builds. In 2015, Royal Enfield entered the American market and Royal Enfield North America was established. With headquarters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's the company's first direct distribution subsidiary outside of India. In the year 2016, Royal Enfield debuts the Himalayan, its first adventure motorcycle, with an all-new 411cc engine and long-reach suspension. It's designed to give adventurous riders the right tool for all kinds of roads and no roads. In 2017, Royal Enfield went back to the UK where it all started. They opened the new Royal Enfield Technology Centre near Leicester. A team of over 100 engineers, designers and testers began work on research development and long-term product strategy. The same year in 2017, the new 650cc Royal Enfield Interceptor and Continental GT twins were unveiled at the EICMA or EICMA Motor Show in Milan, Italy, and at Riders Mania in Goa, India. The same year, company opened its first cafe called the Royal Enfield Garage Cafe in Baga, Goa. As of 2018, Royal Enfield manufactures over 850,000 motorcycles every year, and their total annual revenue is close to $1.3 billion. The company is expanding its business outside India by opening new stores in Europe, America, with an eye on the global motorcycle market. How successful will they be? Only time can tell. But one thing is for sure, they will keep making motorcycles like guns. I would like to end this video with a fun fact. If you had spent 55,000 rupees to buy a Royal Enfield motorcycle in 2001, by 2020 you would have an old bike. But if you have invested the same money in Eicher Motors share, that investment would be worth around 3.5 crore rupees by 2020. So that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel. Feel free to share your views about Royal Enfield in the comments section below. If you have any video recommendations, then please let us know in the comments too. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.